Welcome to this explainer. Look, we spend so much time staring at isolated blocks of code, right? But today, we're diving straight into the actual heartbeat of a live algorithmic trade. We are going to trace one single trade end to end, from the very first spark of a signal all the way to settlement, and finally, right into the bot's permanent memory.
How does a bot actually pull the trigger? It's the million-dollar question when you're getting into algorithmic trading. We all get the isolated pieces. We know how scrapers work, we understand win probability models, we know how to run a solid backtest. But how does a bot actually execute when all these moving parts have to fire together in real time? How does it transform from a static script into a dynamic player in the market? Well, that is exactly the journey we're mapping out today.
Picture this: Lakers versus Celtics, tipping off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. At this exact moment, our bot is already awake. Its models are totally loaded from their pickle files, the webhooks are dialed in, and it's completely mapped out the Polymarket token IDs for this specific matchup. It knows its bankroll. Now it's just waiting in the dark for live game data to spark that first move.
Phase 1, the setup and signal. All right, the game's underway. 3 minutes into the first quarter, the bot catches the first major shift. The Lakers grab a 5-point lead. It instantly pulls the score, the time remaining, and the pre-game ratings, feeds all of that into its XG boost model, and spits out a finely calibrated 63% win probability for the Lakers.
And boom, here is our window. Our bot firmly believes the true win probability is 63%. But the market? It is currently asleep at the wheel, only asking 58 cents for a Lakers yes contract. They are totally underpricing the Lakers.
Do the quick math on that. Subtracting that 58-cent market ask from our 63% calibrated probability gives us a clean 5-cent edge. That 5 cents right there, that's the mathematical lifeblood of the entire operation. It clears the minimum edge threshold, meaning our signal officially wakes up. But, and you absolutely need to remember this, a live signal is not a trade just yet.
Phase 2, the gauntlet of gates.
Now we kick the tempo into high gear because these logic checks happen in mere milliseconds. It is brutal. To survive, the trade has to blast through 6 unforgiving gates. Maximum edge has to be below 15 cents. It needs a safe entry price band. The cooldowns must be clear. The circuit breaker has to be open, proving recent 30-day profitability. It needs a positive historical CLV. And finally, data freshness, because stale data kills a signal instantly. But right now, all 6 gates fly wide open.
Phase 3, execution and the hold.
Our signal survived the gauntlet, so it's time to execute. Before actually buying, the bot has to figure out its exact risk, based on a standard 3% allocation of a $2,000 bankroll and tossing in a modest edge multiplier for our 5-cent advantage. The dynamic sizing module greenlights a $60 position. At an ask price of 58 cents, the math flawlessly converts that to exactly 103 shares. Absolutely no human guessing here, just pure algorithmic sizing.
Within 300 milliseconds, an order is constructed, signed, and fired off to the API. And this is vital. This is a fill or kill order. We want all 103 shares at our exact price, or we want nothing at all. We don't do messy partial fills that ruin the accounting. The API fires back, order filled.
The absolute second that order fills, 2 crucial log records get hard-coded right to the bot's disk. It writes the authoritative position state to a trades file and the signal data to a CLV tracker. This is way more than just bookkeeping. This is literally the bot's survival mechanism. If the server randomly loses power or crashes 10 seconds from now, the bot just reads these files on reboot, perfectly rebuilds its memory, and knows without a doubt it owns 103 shares of the Lakers.
Phase 4, the holding period.
Okay, let's take a breath, because we are slowing the tempo way down now. For the next 2 hours of this basketball game, the bot completely shifts to a strict hold-to settlement strategy. The Lakers might go on a run, pushing our shares up to a juicy 72-cent profit. The bot refuses to sell. They might stumble, plunging us down to a 55-cent loss. The bot doesn't panic. It rides out the sheer tension for hours until the final whistle finally blows, and the Lakers secure a 115-109 victory.
Phase 5, settlement and redemption. The game's over, but the bot doesn't just pretend it has the money. The resolution process is incredibly methodical. First, it flags the trade as pending resolution. Then, it waits for the UMA optimistic oracle to actually confirm the outcome on the blockchain, which can take a few minutes. Next, a background cron job periodically verifies that win on-chain. And once it's verified, the bot submits a redemption transaction on the Polygon network, burning those winning tokens and funneling actual USDC stablecoin right back into its wallet.
So let's talk about the actual payout here. We scooped up 103 shares at 58 cents. They settled at a perfect full dollar. That is a 42-cent net profit per share, handing the bot an actual realized bankroll growth of $43.26. We're not talking paper money here or some theoretical backtest fantasy. This is hard capital permanently added to the proxy wallet.
Phase 6, the continuous learning loop. But here's the absolute best part of this whole explainer. The true climax of a live trade isn't the 43 bucks at all. It's what happens to the data next. The outcome of this specific Lakers game feeds straight back into the bot's memory loop. That single win updates the live recalibrator buffer, subtly tweaking how the bot views probability going forward. It updates the closing line value statistics, essentially telling the pre-trade filter, hey, this type of edge, highly profitable. And it updates the 30-day ROI for the NBA circuit breaker, keeping the system deeply aware that its strategy is currently working.
This right here is the profound difference between a standard backtest and a true production bot. A backtest is a static, dead system. It fires signals against old historical data and literally never changes. But a live production bot, it is continuously learning. It adapts from every single trade, getting sharper and self-correcting drift without any human intervention whatsoever.
It perfectly echoes how the original source text sums up this incredible feedback loop. Quote, "The system is alive. It isn't just static lines of Python anymore. It is a reactive organism thriving in its environment."
You've just watched the complete end-to-end arc. From the absolute first spark of a 5-cent edge, charging through a brutal gauntlet of logic gates, waiting out a volatile holding period, executing a blockchain redemption, and ultimately feeding back in to empower a larger hive mind. You now fully understand the true anatomy of a live trade. So the only question left to ask yourself is, are you ready to build it?